Here is how I made $30,000 on this one wholesale deal. Now, I did something a little bit different than the traditional wholesaling. I did what's called a novation, which means I'm able to actually list the property on the MLS to attract retail buyers. That's how we end up making a $30,000 on this assignment fee. I'm going to break down the exact deal, and I'm going to show you how you too can execute a novation deal like I just did. So if you enjoy this video, be sure to show your boy King Kong some love. Boom, smash that thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. Be sure to, boom, smash that subscribe button, and let's get into it. So this lead actually came from one of my followers on Instagram. So he's a contractor. He was doing a rehab for this property, and he talked to the seller and noticed that she is looking to sell the property and she's looking for a hassle-free sale. So he reached out to me on Instagram, gave me the seller information. After that, I took that information, I passed it over to one of my VA, which is my lead manager, which means their job is to collect all the information about the property, what the seller wants, and all of that. After that, I told my VA to send this lead back over to me. Typically, it would have gone over to my purchase manager, which is another VA that calls a seller back, negotiates, and put that property in a contract. But I end up calling the seller back during an Instagram live and lock the property under contract. Now, the person that actually brought me the lead, his name is Cody. We end up paying him $5,000 for a referral fee, which is a finder fees or a bird dog fee. But let me break down the number for you. I think she wanted in that $375,000 or $400,000, somewhere around there. But I end up negotiating with the seller, and we locked the property in a contract at $325,000. Now, this deal was in California. I'm in Washington State. Never met the seller, never seen the property. All of this was done over the phone. Once I got the property locked up in a contract, I reached out to some local investor in the area. Actually, one of my guy in my mastermind, and he gave me a title company of who he used in California. So we emailed the contract over to the title company along with our earnest money deposit of $250 to tie this property under contract. The seller didn't need to sell the property really quick, so we actually tied this property up for, I think, almost 3 months. The seller wants a hassle-free sale, but they got so much stuff in the property that they need time to remove the stuff out of the property. I contact one of my buddies that does a lot of deals in California. They do about $1 million a month. So he told me the most that the buyer would pay for is $340,000. We went back and talked to the seller and asked the seller if they were okay if we actually put the property on the market. We told the seller that we will pay all the closing costs, all the fees, the realtor commissions, and everything that associated with the process. And nothing was going to be changed to our original agreement. And we told the seller is that because of the market conditions, we don't know which way the market is going to go, but we want to find an end buyer, the first-time home buyer for the property. And then when we go in and we do the renovation, we can cater to exactly how they want the house to look, what kind of countertop, what kind of tile, what kind of color that they want to do to the house. That way we have a buyer, an end buyer in place once we close with them. We told them that nothing on our agreement will change. They will get the exact amount that we have agreed upon, and all the costs will be paid by us. That is how you position yourself when it comes to doing novation. Once they sign the contract that allow us to actually list the property, then we went and actually list the property on the MLS, and you don't need a realtor license to do this. Because once they sign that, they give you the right to put the property on the market. I think within 5 days, my VA actually found a buyer. I actually spent only 1 hour on this deal, and that was the call that I made during the IG Live that I locked this property up on the contract. After that, I sent that deal over to my transactional coordinator, which is another one of my VA. Her job is to market the deal, to talk to the seller, the title company, and then obviously finding the buyer for the deal. But she does the whole entire back end, making sure that we can move this to closing. Now, this is where novation comes in, and it's a little bit different than the traditional wholesaling. The beauty about being able to list the property on the market is because now you're able to attract retail buyer, like the mom and pop, the husband and wife, or the general contractor, looking for their first flip. They're not the seasonal investor. They're looking for the 20 to 30% discount. They're okay with, if the property's worth $100,000, they're okay with coming in and paying $90,000 for the property. They're like, hey, I'm getting a $10,000 discount, and I'm happy with that. Those, my friend, are called your retail buyer. And since this property doesn't need like major rehab, that the buyer, your buyer, typically can actually go to the bank and get what's called a conventional loan to actually close on the deal. So my VA ended up finding the buyer for $355,000. After that, we went back to the seller and we told the seller that we're ready to close, but we need to have them sign what's called a novation agreement. Novation agreement is what allows you to actually represent. So basically you have power of attorney on the seller behalf to represent the seller to execute the purchase and sale contract between you and the buyer. So the seller doesn't need to sign the purchase and sale contract with the new buyer. It's going to be you who's going to sign the purchase and sale contract with this buyer. So pretty much the buyer knows that they're buying this property directly from you. Now there's a lot of other closing cost fees that's actually included in how we negotiate on this deal. So we told the buyer that they were going to pay all the seller closing costs and all the fees. So it's not coming out of our assignment fee. So the buyer knows that they're paying $355,000 for the property, but they will also have to pay all the closing costs and all the fees. That way the seller can walk away with the net amount that we have agreed to them, which is the $325,000. So the buyer would have to come out of pocket, $355,000 plus another 3% closing cost fees on top of that. And they also got to pay for the realtor commission. All of this is negotiable. Sometime when you do a novation, it might come out of your assignment fee if you don't negotiate and let the buyer know that they are going to be the one who's responsible for it. So for them, they need to make sure that if they're buying for $355,000, they're going to also pay for the closing costs and all the fees. As long as the number makes sense to them, then they will be okay with it. So as you can see, you got to lock up a contract for $325,000, and it's going to need about, I would say, $40,000 in repair. So for a savvy investors, the number is not going to make sense. There's no room for them to actually make a profit, and typically they want a 20 to 30% discount. But in this case, we're selling to a retail buyer, so they're okay with spending the next 1 or 2 years, live in the property, fix the property up, coming out making $15,000 to $20,000. The retail buyers are the one that's going to pay you the most for your assignment fee. And that is how a novation is executed. Now, if you want the contract that I've been using for the past 12 years to be able to make millions of dollars from, I'm going to share with you completely for free. I'll put the link in the description. So you can go download a copy for yourself to use. Now, the novation contract is after you found the buyer. So after you found the buyer, then you got to go back to the seller and have them sign the novation agreement. I won't be able to share the novation agreement with you because there's so much liabilities on me, so I can't share that with you. So it's something that you would have to Google online, find one online, and have an attorney review it yourself. The novation agreement is actually what makes everything work. Now, if you're part of my Wholesale to Million Academy, then yes, we do share the novation with you because I actually have my team member go through and show you exactly how it's done and the steps, the process, the details, and how you actually explain it to the seller, how you fill out the novation agreement, and everything like that. So this is something that I do share inside of my Wholesale to Million Academy. But anyways, for those of you who wants to learn more, who are new into the game, to learn more and other strategies on how to close your first deal, check out my new book called The Secret to Wholesaling Real Estate Virtually. All you need is a laptop, a phone, internet. You can do this from anywhere in the world, my friend. And if you want to grab a copy, if you have Kindle, you can download the book completely for free. So if you want to grab a copy, go to WTMbook.com. All I ask for is if you can drop me a review on Amazon, it will mean the world to me. Novation is how you make a bigger, larger assignment fee, and novation works great for any states that require you to have a license, like Illinois, Oklahoma, and some other states. Now, all the information that I share with you in this video, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you any legal advice. You do your own research. Now, if you have any question, comment down below, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Now, if you have any deals that you're currently working on and you need help finding a buyer for your wholesale deal, then email it over to jvdeals@wtmfam.com, and my team will help you find a buyer for it. I don't care what city, what states you're in, as long as the deal is under contract and it's your deal and the number makes sense, we will help you find a buyer for it. Now, even after watching all my free content and all my videos and you still can't seem to actually close your first wholesale deal and you need some help, some hands-on coaching, then go to coachwithkhang.com. Fill out the application, book a call with my team, and let's see how we can help you build, grow, scale, and automate your wholesaling operation to guide you through the process. And that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to boom, smash that thumbs up. Until next time, take care, and let's go get this money.